later, we have the communications director for the Chicago Elections Board, Jim Allen, in the house tonight, you guys. Boom, boom, vote. But first, let's take a look at what's been going on in headlines. The online video game Fortnite has now been cited in more than 200 divorce proceedings. In other news, a minister is under arrest for marrying 200 teenagers. Les Moonves has left his job as the CEO of CBS after denying reports of sexual misconduct because, according to Moonves, his Big Bang is just a theory. A woman reported that her Galaxy Note 9 burst into flames inside of her purse, which has got to be the only time you can complain that your phone is blowing up. Ouch. Donald Trump praised Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who is facing allegations of lying under oath and sexual assault, as one of the finest people he's ever known. But considering who Trump hangs out with, that might be true. It's probably true. NASA is considering selling the naming rights of its rockets and spacecraft, meaning aliens might soon know about the refreshing taste of a Bud Light Lime. The Pentagon is investing $2 billion into artificial intelligence, and yet nothing for the school play. Back in April, Congress passed SESTA FOSTA, a law that has caused many websites used by consensual sex workers to shut down, putting many of them in danger. Here to tell us more, welcome senior labor correspondent Brittany Bookbinder. Brittany, everybody. Hello, Brittany, welcome. So, Brittany, what can you tell us about sex workers' rights?
Oh, of course. Advocates say that sex workers are workers deserving of labor protections and basic human rights, while others disagree. To get the real scoop, I went to the source.
You spoke with some labor advocates?
Oh, I went deeper, Maggie. I hired a real sex worker.
Brittany, no, prostitution is illegal here and in most states.
Oh, Maggie, please don't use the P word. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's not happening. People didn't stop drinking during Prohibition. They just did it under the table. Pun very much intended.
Okay. Well then, how did you find them?
Oh, well, I tried looking online, but thanks to SESTA FOSTA, websites like Backpage and Craigslist Personal shut down, so I had to drive around Lower Wacker with my window down, whispering, "Hi, are you a sex worker? Could I, like, borrow you for a minute?" It was so inconvenient for me, and potentially very dangerous for the sex workers who pretty much always have to be outside now at all hours of the day and night.
Wait. So you had sex with a stranger for money, Brittany?
Oh my God, no. Oh, Maggie, what? No, I didn't have... No. Misty just burned me with cigarettes while she told me I was a bad CEO. And then during the interview portion, she was explaining that in addition to advertising platforms shutting down, which is severely hurting her income, websites where sex workers could blacklist dangerous clients also shut down. So far, 13 sex workers have gone missing, 2 have been confirmed dead, and countless others have been assaulted since SESTA FOSTA passed.
Wait, then why was this law even passed?
Well, it was aimed at preventing child sex trafficking, but it's like getting rid of street corners to prevent the sale of drugs.
Okay, well, how do you know that sex workers like Misty aren't being coerced? I mean, does she really choose this line of work? Does anyone?
Of course, yeah. After I dropped off Misty, I did a 3-way interview with Cinnamon Latte and Chastity's, and they both assured me it is their decision.
Huh. And they enjoy it?
Well, as much as they enjoy any work. While Cinnamon was spanking me with a paddle, she said that she used to drive for Uber, but actually prefers sex work. I mean, a job's a job.
I guess that makes sense. All right, why don't you just tell us a little bit more about the history of sex work advocacy?
Well, I would love to, Maggie, but I've been sitting for a while and my butt started bleeding. And
okay,
so
that's Brittany Bookbinder. You need to go to the doctor. Brittany, everyone. We'll be right back.
Introducing Mad Reaper's Extreme Death Hot Sauce. It's so hot, it's like Hades' full fist down your throat. Yum. Extreme Death Hot Sauce. You asked for this.
Welcome back to the news. Now, who run the world? Traditionally white men. But this evening, we're going to talk about the fact that there is a record number of women running for office in 2018, and hot take here, I think that's a good thing. Now, out of the 41 states that have held their primaries to decide who is on the ballot, 41% of all Democratic nominees and 48% of all non-incumbent nominees are female. It's like the ballot is a new nightclub, and it's ladies' night, but the cover charge is a progressive agenda and a sensible pantsuit. And a 3-drink minimum. They're actually pretty serious about that. In 9 states, people who identify as women could soon make up the majority of legislatures. Talking about you, Maine, Colorado, Oregon, Maryland, California, Illinois, and last but not least, Nevada. You know what they say, what happens in Vegas goes to Washington. Now, most of these women are first-time politicians running for one reason and one reason only: spite. Well, also because they're dedicated to making their communities and their country a better place and want to put their ideals into action, blah, 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 but also spite. Because when someone threatens to grab us by the pussy, we grab back. Now, it's what some media outlets have disgustingly dubbed the pink wave, which to me sounds like what a man would call your period on a light day. But it actually means that, like your refrigerator, women are running. Why is this a good thing? Well, first of all, women make up 50.8% of all US citizens and 100% of all current Ghostbusters. So it's only fair that they should have at least half of a say of what's going down in America town. But we don't. In fact, in the Republican Party, only 12% of senators identify as women, where 14% identify as John. That's real. Now, if you're a dude and you're thinking, whatever, every John I've ever known has done a pretty good job running the place, first of all, go fuck yourself. And second of all, why settle for a John when you can have a John and a Joan, a Justine, a Jill, a Jessica, and other letters? I don't know. Look, study after study have confirmed that diversity is always better for problem solving. 2 heads aren't better than 1 unless the 2 heads are different. Otherwise, it's just twice the same thoughts. That's how you get an ants bugs life situation. So diversity is cool, but the fact that women are even considered diversity is dumb and ridiculous, because yet more studies show that when women are in office, shit gets done. A study published in the American Journal of Political Science found that women in Congress sponsor and co-sponsor more bills than their male counterparts. In fact, the average female senator co-sponsors 6.29 bills with another Senate woman, while the average male senator co-sponsored only 4.07 bills with another Senate man. Proving once and for all, who run the world? Still white men, but things are changing. Also, studies show that women are more collaborative. So not only will they work with like-minded people better, but they are far more likely to reach across the aisle to get it done. That same study showed the average female senator co-sponsored 171 bills with a member of the opposite party, but for the average male senator, that figure was 130. So women can put their differences aside. I mean, take me, for example. I disagree strongly with Becky, the cue card girl, but we still make this show. And Becky, I'm not reading that, Becky. Maggie sucks. No, she does not. You need to get your crap together, Becky. Don't look at me like that. Don't shake your head. I don't want to see. No, she does. Put the next cue card up, Bex. Becky, don't be pointing at it. No, Becky, get out of here. Go to the next card. These women include people like America's sweetheart, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is running in New York District 14, Rashida Tlaib, who won the nomination in Michigan's 13th District and is likely to be the first Muslim woman in Congress, and Sharice Davids, a lawyer and frickin' mixed martial arts fighter who, if she wins, will be the first Native American woman in Congress, the first LGBTQ person to represent Kansas, and the first politician who could kick someone's ass since old Senator Woodrow ass-kicking McLaren in 1808. And that is why women in office is a good thing for our country, and Maggie sucks. Damn it, Becky! Becky, stop doing that! Stop it, Becky! We'll be right back.
Are you young and bored? Try Tide Pod flavored La Croix. For the person who wants to be involved but doesn't want nerve damage. Tide Pod flavored La Croix. It's 2018.
I am joined by the communications director for the Chicago Elections Board, Jim Allen. Jim!
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure and honor.
Thank you so much for being here. So, Jim, first things first, what does an elections board do?
An elections board manages all the voter registrations for, in this case, 1.5 million registered voters in the city of Chicago. We're one of the largest jurisdictions in the nation, and that's our year-round job. And then we explode out to basically 14,000 people for 2 events, a primary and a general election, to work on actually the voting and the elections part.
Right, of course. And so how is Chicago's Board of Elections different than, say, like a smaller town or even a larger one, if there even is one out there?
In a lot of jurisdictions, you have an elected county clerk, and so it might be a Democratic or Republican official who oversees the elections. And where you have election boards, there was some kind of decision, in our case in 1885, where the voters said we don't want mayor, alderman, anything involved in running the actual elections, because people would show up and they would be told you're not registered. So they didn't like that, and they voted, and it was a big movement with the former mayor and publisher of the Chicago Tribune, Joseph Medill, who led to our formation. So our 3 commissioners, 2 are Democratic, 1 is Republican, and they cannot be involved, and none of our employees can be involved in any kind of politics.
Got it. Okay, so it's very separate in that way to try and keep it clean.
We report to the courts.
Got it. Okay, cool. And so people, I don't know if you knew this, but voting's been on people's minds lately.
Yes, we are aware of that.
You're aware of that. So upcoming in November, on November 6th, there's the midterm elections.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these elections important? And are they as important as other elections? Let's be real. I mean, it's not like we're voting for a president.
It's very important because when any group of people fail to show up, and in past elections there have been different demographics, whether it's millennials or Hispanic Americans, whatever group in a large block fails to show up is the one that really bad stuff happens.
You can say shit. We can say shit.
So really bad stuff happens to them, whether it involves student loans or it involves mortgage protection or job protection or anything like that. So it's really important to participate every election, and I'm getting the sense that Chicagoans are more awake or woke this time.
Stay woke,
we're already seeing so far, and we hope it holds, a record number of people applying to vote by mail.
Oh wow, great.
And so in 2016, we were at a high mark at about 100,000. That was our highest since World War II, when we had 2 wars going on.
Yeah.
And that year we had about 8,000 at this point, and we're already up to 40,000. So we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of interest, and we hope that spills into early voting and then election day.
That's fantastic. So what do you guys, this is a 2-part question. Is it part of your job to engage those voters? Are there things that you guys can do to engage the voters, or are you just kind of hoping that people come?
No, we've tried to, over the years, engage voters and invite them to participate in different options. For example, we led the way in 2008 in expanding early voting and really getting people involved in that. It helped that there was a candidate from Chicago running for president at the time, but we capitalized on that. During the primary we had 80,000, and previously it was like 30,000. And then we sent out notices to all those 80,000 who did participate and said, do it again and bring a friend. And so then in the fall we had 240,000. So we led the state in early voting, and now we're trying to lead the state on vote by mail. We'd like to see more and more people use vote by mail. And we're in the process of educating people that if you do this, it'll come to you, you'll get an email when your ballot arrives back at the election board. Postage is paid on the envelope. So there are questions. We're now in an era where not a lot of people use the mail for a lot of things other than Amazon.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's so fascinating. I want to hear way more about this. Will you stick around for a minute?
Absolutely.
Great. We'll be right back with more of Jim Allen.
Here at Subaru, safety is our goal. Introducing the new Subaru Liberty, a car so safe you can't even get in it.
Hello? My car. Mine.
Subaru Liberty. Get in today. Maybe.
Thanks for watching the news. Here is your asterisk of the week.
Hearings for Judge Kavanaugh. There's some discussion that the accuser may not be coming in on Monday. How long is the delay?
I mean, I think it's a great question, frankly. We are looking to get this done as quickly as possible. He is a truly outstanding person, as you know. He's got an unblemished record.